wonderful 7th grade parents. Let me just start by saying it's been great to get to know your kids this year. So far we're having a lot of fun together, and this is just a really sweet class. My name is Mrs. Snyder, and so I am your student's math teacher. And this year we have implemented a new curriculum down at the elementary level, and we've done it at the 7th grade level. And so we don't really have a textbook per se. Eventually the kids are going to get logins that they can actually access things online. But until then, and even throughout the rest of the year, I'm going to be giving them printouts kind of like this. So about every week, they're going to get a new packet of problems. One of the things I love about this curriculum is it is just allowing them to be creative in their problem solving. So it'll start like with one main problem, okay, and then they have to figure out how to approach it. And then they talk together. How did you approach it? How did I do it? Are they the same? Are they different? And then, whoa, we got to the same answer, but we did it different ways. Like, that's just really cool. I think like a lot of kids just have this stigma around math that if they don't start exactly the right way, there's no way they're ever gonna get it. And that's just not true. Like, we can be really creative with how we think about math. And that's what I love about it, is one, they're having discussions together about how they did it and how they thought about it. We have usually about 3 or 4 different thought processes going on within the group, and they all get to share that with one another. I'm kind of learning this alongside them. It's my first year teaching it, and so there's some things that I just have some question marks around right now. And so just to share those with you is, one, I love getting kids up at the boards, getting them active, being able to do problems together. And with this, like one problem can take us about 20 minutes. And I'm not really used to that yet. And so it's kind of taken away from those times at the boards. And so I just am trying to ponder the best way to get them up and active in their math as well. So not just sitting at their desk trying to problem solve. But what you're gonna see as homework, and I know that you guys probably already have, listening to some of their stories, is about 5 problems, okay? Probably about every other night, not every night, and, or maybe 3 times a week, I guess, maybe. And it all centers around kind of what we learned that day. And so sometimes it'll even bring in some of the lessons prior to it. And so just know as a parent, if you're trying to help, maybe go back and look at those examples that are probably on the page right before it, or the 2 pages right before it. And you know what I've told the kids, because I've heard already some of them being like, this took me 2 hours and I didn't get it and my mom didn't know how to do it. And I've told them that I don't want any tears. There's no need to cry over your math, okay? That if you don't understand it right then, it'll come. And it'll be okay. It's a process. And then also like max time on homework, like max is like an hour. Okay, and so I don't even really want them spending an hour, because we all have other things that we should be doing in the evening. Homework, I'm not a huge homework proponent, but we do have to practice in order to get fluent at a subject. And so especially math, it requires a little more practice. And so, you know, like maybe 15, 20 minutes a problem. I've told them if they get stuck, go to the next one. It might be completely different. They might all of a sudden understand it, and then maybe they can go back and be like, oh, I think I know how to tackle number 1 now. And then, but to try something. If they come to me with a blank piece of paper, then I've told them that it kind of looks like you just didn't even try. So at least try something. Write some stuff down. Try to work with the numbers, right? But like if mom and dad don't have the bandwidth to sit down with you and like struggle through this with you, that's okay. Like tell them, I'll ask my teacher tomorrow and it'll be okay. But I do want to see some kind of try, right? Or some kind of attempt. And we always go over them the next day. Okay, we grade each one. I try to help them gain understanding through each one. With this curriculum, what I've noticed is that kids really have to kind of buy in. If they're just zoning out, or just really aren't engaged in thinking for themselves for the problem, it's harder to get. And so they're actually doing some pretty intense problem solving, but it's amazing to me that they're doing really great. And so be reassured of that. There's a lot of great things going on. So to sum that up, mom and dad, I don't really want you spending a ton of time with them on this. Ultimately, they have to own their homework moving forward. Come Algebra 1, like, it needs to be their baby, not yours. So guide them. You know, if you have the bandwidth to sit down with them and kind of talk through it, perfect. I love you for that. Okay, but know that it's also not required, that I'm here for them to be able to then walk it through with them the next day. I just want them to try. And if they get stuck on number 1, go to number 2. If you get stuck on number 2, go to number 3. Try something. Be creative with it. And then the next thing I think is just kind of knowing homework is 25% of their grade, has a little bit bigger percentage around it this year. Next year it's not going to be that big. Okay, it's going to be more like 15%. Quizzes 25% and tests are 50%. So we're hoping that they have a ton of fluency and practice in their homework to then be able to translate it come quiz or test time. That's the goal. And then I think by them having to like just really think about this for themselves, that it will actually produce some really great things. So stay tuned. I know we'll have probably future conversations about that. If you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to reach out to me, csnyder@frcs.org. I'm pretty good at returning email. We can always chat on the phone, we can meet, whatever is best, in order to just help you gain understanding about what's going on in the classroom. And then also, oh, I had one more point. What was it? Darn it. I don't remember. Shoot. Yeah, so if you have any questions, I'm sure I'll remember it as soon as I end this video. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You guys are great. You have great kids. I'm just looking forward to a really great year together.